Listen closely, my friends. There is someone in your life right now who wants you to fail. Maybe it is a coworker who secretly undermines your achievements. Maybe it is a former friend who turned their back on you. Or maybe it is a rival who is actively waiting for you to slip up so they can point and laugh. When you think about this person, you feel it, don't you? That hot, heavy feeling in your chest. The burning desire to expose them, to defeat them, to crush them so thoroughly that they never dare to look in your direction again. Your ego is screaming at you to go to war. It is telling you that you need to prove your superiority. You need to show them, and everyone else, that you are the alpha, that you are the victor, that you are untouchable. But what if I told you that fighting them is exactly what they want? What if I told you that trying to destroy your enemy actually makes you weaker, while ignoring them makes you look weak? The ancient Stoics, the emperors, the slaves, the warriors who forged empires out of chaos, knew a dark, profound secret about human conflict. They knew that true power is not about defeating your enemies. True power is about transforming them. They knew how to take the people who hated them, the people who plotted against them, and force them into a state of absolute, unshakable respect. Not through violence, not through manipulation, but through a level of psychological and emotional mastery that the enemy simply could not comprehend. Today, I am going to teach you the Stoic blueprint for making your enemies respect you. This is not about becoming friends with them. This is not about rolling over and letting them walk all over you. This is about elevating yourself to a frequency of power where their hatred turns into awe and their disrespect turns into quiet submission. Let us begin. The first step to making an enemy respect you is to understand a brutal truth about why they hate you in the first place. We like to think that enemies are created because we did something wrong to them, but the Stoics knew better. Most of the time, an enemy is simply a mirror reflecting your own light. You are growing. You are changing. You are stepping into a higher version of yourself, and your elevation forces them to look at their own stagnation. Your discipline highlights their laziness. Your success highlights their failures. Your peace highlights their internal chaos. They do not hate you because you are bad. They hate you because your existence makes them feel inadequate. Epictetus, the great Stoic master who was born a slave, understood this perfectly. He taught that when someone attacks you, they are not attacking you. They are attacking their own projection of you. When you realize this, the first rule of Stoic warfare becomes clear. Rule number 1, never react. When your enemy throws an insult, when they try to provoke you, when they spread a rumor about you, their entire strategy relies on one thing: your reaction. They want to see you angry. They want to see you defensive. They want to see you lower yourself to their level to fight back. Because the moment you react, you validate them. You tell them, "You matter to me. Your opinion controls my emotions. We are on the same level." But when you respond with absolute, unbothered silence, you shatter their reality. Imagine someone throws a punch, and you simply step aside and watch them stumble. They look foolish. You look like a master. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, faced constant betrayal from his top generals and vicious mockery from the public. Yet he remained completely unbothered. He wrote in his private journal, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Think about the sheer power of that statement. The most powerful man on earth did not believe in crushing his enemies. He believed in refusing to become them. When your enemy is petty, you be grand. When they lie, you tell the truth. When they gossip, you remain silent. When they lose their temper, you remain completely still. Your consistency will drive them crazy at first. They will try harder to provoke you. But eventually, their brain will experience cognitive dissonance. They will realize that their cheap tactics do not work on you. And human beings are psychologically wired to respect what they cannot control. By refusing to react, you become an unmovable object. and they will begin to respect your strength, but non-reaction is only the shield. To earn their deep, lasting respect, you must wield the sword, and the Stoic sword is radical excellence. Rule number 2. Outgrow them in silence. Your enemy expects you to spend your energy fighting them. They expect you to talk about them, to plot against them, to waste your time trying to ruin their reputation. Do the exact opposite. Take all the energy you would have used to fight them and pour it into your own empire. The Stoics believed in the concept of the inner citadel, a fortress of the mind that is completely focused on its own virtue, its own goals, and its own growth. When you build your inner citadel, you become so obsessed with your own elevation that you literally do not have time to look down at your enemies, and this is what terrifies them. When they see you working while they are sleeping, when they see you building while they are gossiping, when they see you achieving while they are complaining, the dynamic shifts. They can no longer view you as a peer. You have moved into a different weight class. Seneca wrote, "While we wait for life, life passes." Your enemy is wasting their life watching you. You are using your life to build a legacy. Eventually, they will look at your results, and they will look at their own lack of results, and a profound respect will begin to form. It is the respect that a student has for a master. It is the respect that the earth has for the sun. The sun does not fight the darkness. It simply shines so brightly that the darkness has no choice but to retreat. Be the sun. Let your results be so loud that their insults become completely inaudible. Now, we arrive at the third rule. This is where you shift from external action to internal mastery. Rule number 3. Practice radical pity. This is where most people fail. They think that to defeat an enemy, they must hate them. They think that anger is a source of power. The Stoics viewed anger as a temporary madness. Seneca wrote an entire book on it, calling it the most destructive emotion in the human soul. When you hate your enemy, you are drinking poison and expecting them to die. You are letting them live rent-free in your head, dictating your emotional state. To truly conquer an enemy, you must change how you see them. You must look at them not with anger but with pity. Marcus Aurelius had a practice. Every single morning, before he got out of bed to rule the empire, he would say this to himself: "Today I shall meet with the meddling, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, and unsocial. All these things happen to them by reason of their ignorance of what is good and evil." Read that again. Ignorance. He did not view his enemies as evil masterminds. He viewed them as confused, ignorant children who did not understand the nature of the universe. He realized that their wickedness was just a symptom of their own internal suffering. When you look at your enemy through the lens of pity, a magical thing happens. They lose their power to hurt you. You stop seeing a monster, and you start seeing a deeply insecure, unhappy person who is trapped in their own ego. You realize that they are miserable. You realize that if they had your life, your mindset, and your peace, they would not be acting this way. When you pity them, you elevate yourself above them. You cannot respect someone you pity, but ironically, when you pity someone from a position of absolute power and grace, they will eventually respect you, because deep down, they know they are acting out of insecurity. And when they see that you do not hate them back, when they see that you look at them with calm, detached compassion, it breaks their ego. They realize how small they are compared to you, and that realization forces them to respect your massive, unshakable character. Now we move to the fourth rule. This is the behavioral discipline that separates the truly powerful from those who merely pretend. Rule number 4. Never speak ill of them behind their back. This is the rule that will shock you. Because when someone becomes your enemy, every instinct in your body wants to destroy their reputation. You want to tell everyone what they did to you. You want to warn people about them. You want to make sure everyone knows they are the villain. The Stoics saw this for what it truly was: weakness disguised as strength. when you gossip about your enemy. When you badmouth them to others, you are not showing power. You are showing that they still control you. You are showing that you are still thinking about them, still obsessed with them, still letting them occupy space in your mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The person who speaks ill of others behind their back is not a good man. They are a small man. They are someone who needs to tear others down to feel tall. The Stoic does the exact opposite. When people ask you about your enemy, you say nothing negative. You might even say something neutral or positive. You refuse to participate in the gossip. You refuse to be the person who spreads poison. And here is what happens. People notice. They notice that you do not engage in the drama. They notice that you do not stoop to that level. They notice that you have a level of integrity that most people lack. And this makes you incredibly attractive. It makes you stand out. It makes people trust you more. Because they know that if you will not speak ill of your enemy behind their back, you certainly will not speak ill of them. Your enemy will also hear about this. They will hear that you did not badmouth them, that you did not try to ruin their reputation, that you maintained your dignity even when they did not, and this will confuse them. Because they expected you to fight dirty. They expected you to play the victim. They expected you to become exactly like them, but you did not. You remained virtuous. And that virtue will command their respect, whether they want to admit it or not. Finally, we reach the ultimate test. The fifth and final rule of Stoic warfare, rule number 5, the grace of the open door. What happens when your enemy finally fails? What happens when they stumble, when they lose their job, when they face a tragedy, when they need help? The petty person gloats. The weak person seeks revenge. They say, "I told you so." They kick them when they are down. But the Stoic? The Stoic offers a hand. This is the concept of magnanimity, greatness of soul. It is the ability to rise above the natural human instinct for revenge and offer grace to those who do not deserve it. When your enemy falls, and you are in a position to help them, you help them. Not because they deserve it, but because you are the kind of person who helps others. You do it to prove to yourself that their hatred did not corrupt your character. Imagine the psychological impact of this. Your enemy has spent months, maybe years, painting you as the villain. They have convinced themselves that you are arrogant, that you are cruel, that you are waiting for them to fail so you can laugh. And then, when they are at their lowest, you step in. You offer them help. You speak to them with dignity. You do not bring up the past. You do not demand an apology. You just help them. In that single moment, their entire worldview shatters. They realize they misjudged you completely. They realize that you are not the villain in their story. You are the hero. And the human ego cannot handle being wrong about someone to that degree. To resolve this cognitive dissonance, their brain is forced to rewrite its opinion of you. They will feel a deep, overwhelming sense of shame for how they treated you, followed by a profound, unshakable respect for who you are. You will have conquered them, not by destroying them, but by saving them from their own bitterness. You will have turned an enemy into a lifelong ally, or, at the very least, into a person who will never dare to cross you again, out of pure reverence for your character. Let us review the Stoic blueprint. Number 1. Never react. Deny them the satisfaction of seeing you bleed. Become the unmovable object. Number 2. Outgrow them in silence. Build your inner citadel. Let your excellence be the only weapon you need. Number 3. Practice radical pity. See them not as evil, but as ignorant and suffering. Strip them of their power over your emotions. Number 4. Never speak ill of them behind their back. Maintain your integrity. Let your virtue speak louder than their poison. Number 5. The grace of the open door. When they fall, help them. Prove that their hatred could not corrupt your character. My friends, this is not easy. It requires a level of discipline that 99% of the population will never achieve. It requires you to swallow your pride, to kill your ego, and to act with a level of nobility that feels almost superhuman. But here is the ultimate, beautiful paradox of Stoicism. When you do these things, you will realize something profound. You will realize that you did not do this to make your enemy respect you. You did not practice silence, excellence, pity, integrity, and grace to win their approval. You did it to master yourself. You did it to protect your own soul. You did it because you are a Stoic, and a Stoic acts with virtue regardless of what the crowd does. And the irony is, the exact moment you stop caring about their respect is the exact moment they will give it to you. Because true respect cannot be demanded. It cannot be fought for. It can only be attracted by the sheer, undeniable gravity of a person who has completely conquered themselves. So, the next time you encounter your enemy, the next time they try to pull you into the mud, remember who you are. Smile calmly, hold your ground, and let your character do the talking. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, we are made for cooperation like feet, like hands, like eyelids, like the rows of the upper and lower teeth. To act against one another, then, is contrary to nature. Stop acting against nature. Stop fighting shadows. Build your fortress. Master your mind. And watch as the world, including your enemies, bows to your quiet, unshakable power. If this video gave you a new perspective on power and conflict, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let me know in the comments. What is the hardest part about staying calm when someone provokes you? I read every single comment. Until next time, stay grounded, stay virtuous, and stay untouchable.